YouTube family. Let's talk about Kyle Rittenhouse today. I'm going to be fair. I'm going to be non-biased. I'm going to let the media outlets play its part in explaining this deep-rooted case. A case that could be seen for years to come, because the outcome, I kind of feel I know what it's going to be. In a couple of months, you're about to see one of the most trickiest case in United States history. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. For the first time, the Second Amendment is going to be challenged in court in a certain way that we're not really used to, even though we think we are. Now, Kyle has the ups and ups right now versus the whole entire media. Let's see what goes on and what happens after this. But let's pay these bills right quick. Now, many of you guys know this guy over here, Kyle Rittenhouse. And if you don't know, I'd rather fall back and let the media introduce you to him.
Rosenbaum and Anthony
expected to appear in court for what could be the final court hearing before actual trial begins. Rittenhouse shot 3 people, killing 2 during riots in Kenosha last summer. In today's hearing, the judge will hear a request from Rittenhouse and his attorneys to allow a use of force expert to testify during the trial. They are building a self-defense argument. Prosecutors want to exclude the use of force expert, saying that his expertise is in police use of force, not civilian, and that therefore it's not relevant to the Rittenhouse case. Trial does begin a week from today, Monday, November 1st. Our Sarah McGrew has a look ahead at what we can expect.
Throughout this case, Kyle Rittenhouse has argued he was acting in self-defense. Our partners at Court TV say it will likely be up to his own testimony to convince the jury of that. The Court TV special, Chaos in Kenosha, the Kyle Rittenhouse case, takes a look back at the night of August 25th, 2020, when Rittenhouse shot 3 people, killing 2 during the unrest following the police shooting of Jacob Blake. The documentary also looks ahead to the jury trial starting in just 1 week.
You're going to see the defense in many instances throughout this trial go back to the issue that he was a 17-year-old boy at the time of this, and you cannot judge his actions after the fact.
Rittenhouse faces multiple charges, including homicide.
Both sides agree that Kyle Rittenhouse shot and killed Joseph Rosenbaum and Anthony Huber, and seriously
were chasing Kyle Rittenhouse. All of it. That is not debatable.
But there's thought the jury may not reach a verdict in this trial.
This is going to be tough. I have never in the history of covering cases here ever thought that the most likely verdict here is a hung jury, because I've seen the way America has reacted to this, and I'm wondering if the 12 jurors in Kenosha will react the same way.
Now, I'm thinking in my mind, are they going to act the same way? This jury, this group, we know what America has become, what America is. I feel like I know the outcome, just like probably a lot of you guys know the outcome. Now, you got to remember, they're telling you to let the evidence show what the evidence shows. If the evidence shows that any or more than one of these people were engaged in arson, rioting, or looting, then the law claims that they're not going to tell the defense they can't call them that. So according to this judge over here, he's allowing the victims to be called arsonists, rioters, all these terminologies that we know could sway the jury or whoever is giving the final gavel of justice. You know what I mean? So it's a lot going on in this case. It's more deeper rooted than what you think. I want you guys to pay attention to the judge allowing the use of force expert in the Rittenhouse case.
A major story we have been following. Kyle Rittenhouse was back in court for a hearing exactly 1 week before his trial is set to begin. The 18-year-old is charged with shooting 3 men, killing 2, all in the unrest following the police shooting of Jacob Blake last summer. Stephanie Haynes is live in Kenosha with more. Stephanie.
Charles, that hearing just wrapped up minutes ago. Attorneys were wrapping up a few issues just 1 week before the trial. And as you recall, 18-year-old Kyle Rittenhouse is charged with shooting and killing Joseph Rosenbaum and Anthony Huber. He's also accused of shooting Gage Grosskreutz, but he was shot and survived. Today, the judge said he will allow the defense team to call a Kenosha police officer named Amanda Franco as a witness. Court documents show she had, quote, 2 brief cordial conversations with Rittenhouse in the hours before the shootings. Prosecutors said they think it's not relevant. Defense attorneys think it is, and the judge ultimately agreed. The documents also state she was called out to an alleged fight Rittenhouse was involved in with his sister. That was back in July. The judge has since denied admitting video of that in court. Now, last week, the defense introduced its use of force expert. It was decided that expert witness will only be able to offer expertise on the timing.
Kyle Rittenhouse is a cold-blooded killer. That would be, you don't think that you'd be allowed to do that?
I think I should be. I think I should be allowed to call people a victim, too.
Why can't he call the victim an arsonist if that's what he thinks he can prove?
There will be 20 jurors seated in this trial. 8 of them will be alternates. That is set to begin next Monday morning. For now, live in Kenosha, Stephanie Haynes,
person in the state of Wisconsin where he's accused of killing 2 people.
So, Shaq, you say this won't start until November. Any sense yet of what the Rittenhouse defense is going to be?
Well, we heard early on that they're saying, and his legal team is saying, this was all about self-defense. He was acting in self-defense. He was being attacked when he shot and killed 2 people and injured a third. Let's put up what the charges he's facing. Let's put up those charges because there's 5 felony charges. These are serious charges. They include 1 count of first-degree intentional homicide, 1 count of first-degree reckless homicide. Those 2 are for the 2 men who were killed. Additionally, it's 1 count of attempted first-degree homicide, 2 counts of reckless endangerment for firing at some other protesters there, and 1 count of possession of a dangerous weapon as a minor. That last one is a lower count, but you see, those are some very serious charges that he's facing. The highest charge faces or carries a life sentence. And then you see the scheduling and what we can expect later. We know that he has pleaded not guilty to all of those counts. Again, his legal team expected to start in November. There was nothing that we heard earlier today that changed that timeline or that scheduling. We know that the last time we saw him appear virtually in court, there were some fireworks because the prosecution was trying to revoke his bail because they said he wasn't being forthcoming with some information like his address. But we'll look to see what happens later, but we know that the trial is starting in just a couple of months, Aaron.
Now, we know Kyle is in a situation where it's a whole lot people are trying to do against him right now. You feel me? According to what a lot is being written, one of the victims who got shot in the arms is filing a lawsuit against Kenosha Police Department as well, accusing them of deputizing, you feel me, a group of militia, basically. Well, I'm not going to read that word they put because of YouTube guidelines, but it's a lot of things they're saying that the cops assisted and helped Kyle on, but I'm not saying that because at the end of the day, this is a wild case to me. I believe in the second amendments. I believe in self-defense, but in this case, it's hard to really see what was broken and what wasn't. So I'm reserved right now. I want to know, what do you guys think? How do you guys feel about this case? Now, we have a small situation to tell you guys. Get more engaged in this by paying attention to the situation. Are you guys in his position? Would you guys react the same? If you guys was in Kyle's position that day, what would have been your feelings? Or if you guys were the other way around, the alleged victims, what were your personal feelings towards how the police handle it? I want to know from all sides when it comes to this because of what we see. You feel me? It's a different type of world we're in today, and I don't think it's going to be the verdict you guys are waiting for.
And if it is, then she'd be allowed to testify. Separate location with regard to separate behavior. And no one is going to argue.
I used to pay $163.
Much of that paid for through public donations.
Wanted police to delete his social media.
Some new video shows Rittenhouse interviewed by officers in Illinois hours after he's accused of killing 2 protesters last summer in Kenosha. TMJ4 News obtained this video through an open records request. After asking for a lawyer, Rittenhouse asks officers to delete his social media accounts.
Can you guys delete my social media accounts? Like, after you guys take your warrant to go through all my can you make sure everything, like my social media, is deleted?
Those social media accounts showed Rittenhouse in the front row of a Donald Trump rally, as well as posing with weapons. He's out of jail after posting $2 million bail, much of that paid for through public donations.
2 protesters in Kenosha is speaking out now for the first time.
In a jailhouse interview with the Washington Post, Kyle Rittenhouse reveals how he paid for an assault rifle.
I got my $1,200 from the coronavirus Illinois unemployment because I was on furlough for my FCA, and I got my first unemployment check, so I was like, oh, I'll use this to buy it. I was going into a place where people had guns, and God forbid somebody brought a gun to me and decided to shoot me. I wanted to be protected, which I ended up having to protect myself. I don't regret it. I feel I had to protect myself. I would have died that night if I didn't.
No regrets. The Washington Post has been doing intensive investigations into